Welcome back to the channel. My name's Jose Najarro, and I'm just your average Jose, grinding and working, trying to make it big in the world right now. Today's episode, I am going to be reacting to Graham Stephan's recent video, My Problem Spending Money, and I'm very excited to talk about it. For those that don't know, Graham Stephan is pretty much a guy who prints money out of YouTube right now, and he has a huge real estate empire, but he did not start off that way, right? He pretty much tells his story that he started off pretty much as an average guy, like you and I, and he made it big doing the things he liked to do, doing what he loved. So hearing stories like this and hearing thought process of how this person's mind goes through when making some form of investment, when making some form of decision in life, is something I like to learn, and that's why I am watching this video. So before we get started with the episode, make sure to smash that like button. It helps so much with the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget to go down to the description. You should see a link to Webull. If you sign up and deposit $100, we both get a free stock. I think right now they're running a special where we might get 2 or 3 free stocks, and what's better than a free investment? And right, like I mentioned, I'm super pumped with this because I want to make it big doing things I love, and I'm a huge stock market guy. So obviously this guy did most of his stuff through real estate and then moved to YouTube. I pretty much can see myself in him, and I'm pretty sure you guys can see yourself in him in some way or another, right? Obviously, I'm not doing real estate, I'm doing more stock market, but being able to do that and see that I can make it big with it's something that gets me pumped up and something that gets me hyped up every day to continue to work and continue to grind hard until I make it big. So let's get started with today's episode and see what he has to say.
What's up, you Graham? It's Guys here, and today we're going to be talking about why I save so much money, because over the last few years I've been called quite a few things, ranging anywhere from stingy, cheap, thrifty, frugal, economical, a penny pincher, and my personal favorite, financially minimalist. See, most of the time,
and that's actually pretty funny, right? I've seen, I don't know much, I don't follow Graham Stephan too much. I want to say I probably seen a few episodes of his here and there, but he's not someone I follow. I just know kind of his story and that he's made it out, and he's just right now doing amazing. So I personally thought he was a minimalist, and it's pretty impressive to hear him saying otherwise. So
time when people hear how much I make compared with how much I spend, I get this bewildered response as though they've just seen an alien recite the alphabet backwards, and that then prompts the question, what's the point of saving so much money if you don't spend it? Or when are you finally going to go and enjoy your money? And honestly, that's a really good question. So when it comes to this, here's the answer, and these are my philosophies and beliefs when it comes to saving and spending money.
And this is actually pretty cool, right? So I personally don't think as my finances go up, and I think every person is different, right? As my finances and my salary go up, there's not much money I spend elsewhere. I'm not big into clothes. I'm not big into huge technology. Just give me a nice laptop. The only thing I want to say I probably spend more money compared to the average person is on cars. And compared to most car guys, I probably don't spend much money in it, right? But I do see that's where I probably spend most of my money. But at the same time, I am respectable to my income. And what I mean respectable is whenever I have whatever my income is, the first thing that my wife and I do is we put that money to work. We save money for stock market investing. We save money for future real estate investment. And then we also save money for emergency funds. So we're saving money elsewhere before even our everyday expenses. So that's I think it's pretty important to be respectable with the amount of money you're coming in and the amount of money you're spending.
Here. Now, when it comes to saving money, I tend to see things from the perspective of how I was raised. It's given me a really unique perspective to see both sides of the coin, in the sense that growing up, my family never had extra money lying around. We never lived large, and even though I had an amazing childhood, it wasn't as though I didn't see my parents worry about money or go through some really tough times. On the other hand, now I've been wildly fortunate to have become
pretty happy he talks about this, right? He shows that his family came from, it's not that he came from nothing, but they didn't have an extra. Like, he had a happy childhood, and I can say the same thing, right? My parents were hardworking. They're still hardworking individuals. We had gifts under the Christmas gifts, right? Under the Christmas tree, we had food all the times. Like, so I come from that lifestyle where when I was a kid, I wasn't able to buy the fanciest clothes, the fanciest shoes. Now here I'm pretty much doing the same, right? I get most of, I'm pretty sure this shirt is from Costco. Most of the shoes I buy are from Costco when they're on sale there and stuff like that. These are things that I didn't grow up with, I didn't need when I grew up, and it's not something I need right now.
I'm financially independent by my late 20s to the point where I could pursue nearly anything that I wanted to, within reason, of course. But what really stands out the most, that has the biggest impact on my psychology of saving money, wasn't so much my upbringing, but instead, it was a really horrible job that I took just as I was finishing up high school. And every single day I went in there, I wanted to quit, I couldn't stand it, I felt stuck, and every single day I would go into the office and see everyone act like a zombie until 5 p.m. on a Friday when they had the weekend off. And on top of that, I don't know how many of you have worked.
That's something I can't really relate to too much, right? I'm right now an engineer, and I honestly enjoy what I do. So when I go to work, and I think just probably the company I'm at, the overall environment I'm at, it's nice, right? I don't regret going to work, but and I don't feel like time wasted because I'm always exercising my mind. But at the end of the day, what really throws me back is that I have to respond to someone, that I'm not fully in control of my life right now in form of financially independence. So I do believe this form that I truly want to be independent is what drives me to find something out there, something that I can control myself, something that I can do. I'm the one who determines how to invest my portfolio. I'm the one who determines how much content to put on YouTube. I'm the one that determines how much time I spent making these videos, making all this stuff. And if I can continue to do this and continue to grow, eventually I'll be financially independent where I wouldn't need a job.
Minimum wage full time, but once you do that, it paints an entirely new perspective for the value of money and how hard you need to work to pay for something. When my take-home pay after tax was about $8 an hour, there's no way I'm going to buying a Starbucks for $4 because that equates to me working 30 minutes
That's
at a
insane,
job
right?
I really dislike. Or going out to a fancy dinner could easily be an entire day.
That's pretty impressive, right? That's how you should think about your time. Right now, you understand how much money you're making an hour. If you're salary based, you understand how much, you can do the simple math, how many hours are in the total time that you work, and pretty much see how much money you're making after hours, after taxes. And then when you buy something, that's, I think, a perfect scenario. Hey, for me to pay for this coffee means I'm working 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes. I can go home and make a coffee that takes me 2 minutes to make, and I can have pretty much 28 minutes of my life back.
But it did serve as a very intense motivation to reevaluate what I wanted to do and how I wanted to spend my time and what was important to me and where my priorities aligned. That's when I realized that deep down, I was never just after money per se, but instead I really just wanted the challenge, the creativity, and the freedom to pursue what I wanted to do and what I felt was best, whatever that might be. And for me,
and that's pretty cool, right? So this kind of relates to me too, right? I like the stock market. Obviously I like it for money making. And what I do, I like it because it has the potential to make me money. But that's not why I do it. There's so many other things that I could be doing that I know could be making me a lot more money. But at the end of the day, I just don't enjoy doing it. So follow what you do, and there's a way to make money around it.
Money really became a brand new purpose, and that was options. And no, I'm not talking about trading options on Robinhood. I'm talking about options, a noun, a thing that is or may be chosen. Here's what I've realized. Money is, at its core, just a tool, and that's it. And really, just like any tool, there are effective ways of using it and ineffective ways of using it. For example, you wouldn't be changing a light bulb with a hammer, because that makes no sense.
Challenge accepted,
so along
Mr.
that
Graham.
same line of thinking, why would you use money for anything other than what it's really good at? Well, what it is really good at is giving you options. It's about having the option to pursue what you enjoy the most. Today, that allows me to only do the work I'm the most passionate about, and I could take more career risk without the worry of not making money. And I'm totally okay turning down offers that don't align with what I believe in without money being a factor in that decision. That never would have been possible had I built the lifestyle of high overhead.
So he can tell you, right? He's telling you his money is obviously a tool right now. His money is being used as an option for him to do what he loves. If he gets an offer on someone for him to promote something, or for him to talk about something, he can easily say no nowadays because he has money to not really need that money to do the stuff he doesn't enjoy doing.
had excessive spending and luxury that I never needed to begin with. And from my experience, the real enjoyment doesn't come from buying things, it's just having the option to buy them if you want to. The second, for me, I've noticed that the more
I like
overhead
this
and
screen
financial
share.
obligation I have, the more stressed I tend to be. I compare this to the overhead of having a huge car payment or some enormous mortgage payment or any other costly obligation that just becomes another thing that you need to work for to maintain. Like, what's the point of owning a really expensive house with a fancy car parked out front if the only way you can afford it is to obligate yourself towards working 80 hours a week for the next 30 years?
Very, very true, right? And this is something that's super important, right? So for example, my wife and I, we have a very small house, super small, 2 bedrooms, and that's it. We have no kids, a small living room, and a small kitchen. And this is perfectly fine for us. There's no point for us to go grab a bigger house with 4 bedrooms if we're not going to use it. We use one for the master bedroom, and I'm here on the second bedroom using this as my office for my YouTube videos. Like, obviously he would attack me right now because of the vehicles I have outside. They're not super fancy, and it's not like, let's say even if one of us loses our job, cut our salary in half, we would still be able to pay mortgage, to pay the house, and still be able to save money outside.
Never understood that mentality, and I'd much rather not have the extravagances but have the freedom with how I spend my time. That's always been the reason of why I prefer to save what I earn. I enjoy having less financial responsibility and overhead because that gives me in return more creativity, more freedom, and less stress, which really leads me to working on more creative and fulfilling ventures which just happen as a byproduct to make more money without clouding my judgment on needing to make more money.
But I do agree, right? I do these YouTube channels. I do my stock market YouTube channel. I'm doing this YouTube channel not because I need to make money out of it, right? That's the great thing about it. Obviously, I like making money about it, but it's not a need. It's not something that if I don't make X amount of $1,000 on my other YouTube channel, I won't be able to pay anything else, right? It's not that need there.
As a real estate agent, and if I was spending $10,000 a month on useless stuff, I couldn't have risked that career to pursue this, which quickly became my new passion, and it worked out better than I ever imagined. And no, that's not to say don't spend money on anything, because obviously that's not the case. I treat myself to sushi twice a month. But that's why I only try to spend the money my investments make, because if there's something I want one day, I'll make sure I have enough invested to completely pay for it. Otherwise, I'll just continue saving. That's how over time I gradually started spending more money and increasing my lifestyle. I'll buy the type of home that my investments can cover, or the type of home that will make me money without me coming out of pocket. And then I'm able to continue my current lifestyle of reinvesting everything so that way, over time, that will support any other future endeavors I decide to embark on. Because I totally believe it's okay to spend more money and do nicer things and to accumulate more stuff if that spending is sustainable. So for me, that's the reason why I save
what he said, he is
now,
respected with the amount of money coming in and the amount of money
mindset
spending.
has begun to shift, and I never thought this would happen, but just hear me out. If you had asked me this a few years ago, I would have told you that I enjoy doing everything myself because it's cheaper for me to do it myself than pay someone else to do it, and I found that is an economical way to save more money. I would manage my own properties, I would do my own accounting, I would clean my own house, I would wash my own car, I would do my own groceries.
I know where he's gonna go with this, but eventually, right, that's good starting off, right? And you enjoy doing it, but once you spread out too thin, you gotta start your time, even though you're saving money doing it, your time is at the end more valuable. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna say he starts to outsource some of this stuff.
And
that's
I gotta
insane.
say, that worked really well for a long time. But now I've begun to realize that doing everything myself doesn't make as much sense as it once did. Because having the ability to save has given me something I wasn't expecting before, and that would be time. For the first time ever in my
most
entire
important
life,
thing I
I've
think is
begun
time.
to prioritize buying back my time in the sense that now I could hire an editor on the Graham Stephan show to edit those reaction videos so that now I have more time to spend back on here. Not to mention, psychologically, there are examples of how money could be spent to increase your quality of life and happiness. And according to the Journal of Consumer Psychology, the best ways to spend your money are as
what? Damn ads.
follows. First, spend your money on experiences and not things. It was found that the effects of buying material things fades rather quickly once we get used to them.
Hey,
but
maybe that's why I like cars, right? I like
that our
the
minds
experience of
continually
driving
get to
fast
look
every
back on,
time.
bringing us more positive emotion. Now, second, it also helps to spend money with people.
Okay, so I don't get spend money with people. That sounds weird. So if like we all go out to eat and we spend money together, is that gonna make me happy? I can understand spend money on people. It's just really nice, right, to give things away. I think that's why probably like people like giving like Christmas, happy birthdays, and giving presents away is such a great thing to do, and you just feel that amazingness when they open that gift. and it's something they like. So I can see how spending money on people can help
to improve our
and help
connections with
overall.
others is also going to improve our own happiness as well. Now, third, you should spend money frequently on small things, but very infrequently on large things. And fourth, it's really important to enjoy the process along the way. Research shows that people actually enjoy the process of anticipating something happening, usually more so than the actual event itself.
Yeah, this is so true, right? Every time I'm trying to buy a new toy, right, something cheap, a new book or something, I just get so excited before I go out and buy that book, right? Just the process of going to the store, just the overall journey. And I'm pretty sure that goes with the experience mentioned before, just that experience of going out there and picking up and knowing what you want to buy and just excited to see at the store, builds that anticipation.
That's why, for me, I've always prioritized saving, because at the end of the day, what I'm really buying is freedom and the choice to work on the things I'm most excited about. I think there's a hugely
now I want to go sell my car,
advantage of doing
sell
this,
all my
by
clothes,
working on the things you really want to work on, not because you have
and just
to
do
work
YouTube
on them,
all
you'll
day
tend to
and
produce
stock
better
market.
results, and from that, making more money becomes a byproduct of just enjoying what you do. The same thing also applies with YouTube. For the first 2 years of making 3 videos a week, I was earning substantially less on YouTube than I was as a real estate agent. However, I just love doing
3
this,
years.
and I was
Okay, I
happy
still
to
got 1
sacrifice
year.
earnings for the sake of doing something I really enjoyed. Now, lo and behold, financially, that ended up paying off really well. But getting to that point to begin with all started with saving. It's all about spending money on things that really add value to your life and saving with the intention of building a lifestyle that supports that.
So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Just pretty much my thought of listening to others, right? I do believe, just like I say in my everyday investing life, and whenever building a portfolio or anything, there's no perfect way to do it. Let me scratch that, right? There is some truth behind it. You're not gonna go out there and spend more money than you're making, right? That's not how you're gonna be successful in life. But once you are successful, once you're saving money, once you're already doing different things, different types of investments, then from there on, I think it becomes more of your happiness and your balance. If you're gonna try to be a minimalist and be miserable for 2 years, for 3 years just doing it, that might not be an experience I am willing to take. And I do believe it's okay. I do believe even without being that, even though continuing to do the way I'm going with my YouTube channel, with my constant savings, I will be able to make it big someday. Maybe not as fast as this guy right here, but I still have hope, and hopefully that hope comes to reality. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Just like Graham said, make sure to check out his channel to see the full video. Don't forget to smash that like button. It helps so much with the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So take care, guys. Have a good night and see you next time.